Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's first video. We're going to have a look at weather next 10 to 14 days for today's first video. Day 10 will take us to the 26th of June, and we'll be able to extend beyond that with it says GFS and ECM ensembles throughout a couple of weeks. Having a look at CFSB2 for the next 4 weeks, that will get us well into July. I'll get on that for you in a moment. Just say that this evening around 7 PM, we're going to have the latest update for Glastonbury. That'll be update number 4, I think, for Glastonbury Festival. That will be coming up around 7 PM this evening. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you once again for the love, kindness and support that you've shown to me and to the family since the passing of my mum on the 27th of May. We lost Miss B on the 27th of May. She'd been ill since Christmas. And right from then, actually, you've been showing so much love, so much support, so much concern for her, for me, for all of us, you know. And I want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for the support that you've given, both during her illness and after her death. So thank you so much. We're going to be having a funeral tomorrow, so I'll be taking tomorrow off. And probably Saturday as well. I may take weekend off, actually, I'll see. I do want to try and do a Glass Show update one point over weekend, but I might take most of the weekend off. And Monday, though, things will start coming back, you know, then it'll be time to start getting all of the content back again from Monday. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. You've been incredible. You've been amazing. Thank you to all of you. Right, so let's start off then with the temperatures that we've got coming up over the next 24 hours. So we are going to be in for a hot 24 hours. So this is the latest temperature forecast from UKV from the Weather Outlook, high resolution model from the UK Met, actually, but the Weather Outlook website. So very warm this afternoon across much of central, southern, southeast England. Temperatures will be into the upper 20s Celsius, possibly approaching 30 degrees. In London somewhere, certainly well up into the upper 20s Celsius, so we're into the 80s Fahrenheit today. On into tomorrow, though, this is a very hot day that we've got coming up tomorrow. I've been flagging it up over the past few days. You know, really hot day coming tomorrow, approaching June temperature records. UKV is indicating we're going to be up to 32 to 33 degrees for much of the Midlands and eastern England. That's into 90s Fahrenheit. Eastern England, like Cambridgeshire to East Anglia, there we're seeing temperatures forecast to get to around 34 degrees. Maybe 35 is possible. Maybe at the Botanical Gardens in Cambridge, who knows? That's into the mid-90s Fahrenheit. Going to be a very, very hot day. Notice, though, not for Scotland and for Northern Ireland, missing out there. Temperatures pegged back into teens Celsius. Up there. Now we go into Saturday, and we've got a cooler day that's going to be coming up on Saturday. So here we go. These are Saturday's temperatures. Look at that, from Saturday on Friday to Saturday, much of the Midlands just mid-teens Celsius. So it's getting off like a 20-degree temperature drop there across parts of central England and East Anglia. Perhaps more than 20 degrees, actually. It's absolutely remarkable the drop in temperatures being forecast there from Friday to Saturday. Still pretty warm in the far south, it has to be said. So their temperatures into the upper 20 Celsius are possible. But you know, it's certainly going to be a lot cooler across most parts of the country. Sunday, see temperatures perhaps closer to average then. And then into Monday, not too bad with the temperature either in sort of low to mid 20 Celsius, but certainly no sign of a return to excessively hot weather. This is the temperature forecast from our pairs. So again, warm afternoon coming up, temperature into the upper 20 Celsius, 27, 28 degrees widely across much of central, southern, southeastern England. And then we go on into Friday. Tomorrow, and even hotter then, with temperatures going up to around 32, 33, 34 degrees across central and eastern England. Again, that's approaching June temperature records, record hot day, just shy of it. So we probably won't beat the June temperature record. We've got to get to 36 for that. So I reckon like 35 might be possible, though, somewhere across eastern England. Maybe not Heathrow this time. Notice actually in the far south we've got not quite as hot as it is a little bit further northward. So sort of like Cambridge. Maybe at those Botanical Gardens again. I reckon that's where the hottest temperature could be tomorrow. Right, so then we go on into Saturday, and you'll notice that it is away from far south, but it's still pretty warm on the south coast. Temperature needs to meet up to 20 Celsius, but much cooler elsewhere. These are afternoon temperatures, 3 o'clock in the afternoon for much of Wales and Midlands. I mean, really pegged back. Temperatures only 10, 11, 12 degrees there. I think that's probably undercooked. I can't believe it would be quite that cold. But it certainly is a very, very noticeable drop in the temperature, and a big temperature contrast, well, because we're still up to like mid to upper 20 Celsius in the far south and southeast. That is a huge temperature contrast over such a wide area. Let's actually have a look at the precipitation forecast and see. There we go, see whether any storms are being generated with that temperature contrast. So again, we can see that tomorrow most of the rain will be in the north and in the northwest, not much elsewhere. And then we do have wet weather that's coming in from the southwest. So that's why the temperatures are so low for like Wales and the Midlands. It's because of that band of rain. That looks like a persistent band of rain. That's probably not all that thundery, but it does look like a persistent area of wet weather, and that's why the temperature there is so cool then through Saturday afternoon through Wales and the Midlands. Quite a wet day actually through Wales and the Midlands on Saturday. There's perhaps a few storms hinted at to the south late Saturday and into Sunday. Precipitation forecast from UKV looks like this. We won't crack on with the wider forecast in a moment, but we have got an interesting sort of couple of days coming up, so I thought we'd spend a bit of time looking at this. So, again, tomorrow, most of the wet weather will be in the northern half of the country, in the north and west. Hot day in the south, southeast, of course, and then into Saturday. So, not as widespread with the rain on Saturday with UKV as our page, indicating some heavy downpours across parts of South Midlands, for example, but not that band of persistent heavy rain through Wales and the Midlands and East England like our page is forecasting. So nowhere near as much rain with UKV as with our page. By Tuesday, we've got thunderstorms though down on the south coast. So an interesting 24 to 48 hours. Very hot tomorrow. Big drop in temperature through Wales and Midlands in particular on Saturday, and there might be quite an area of wet weather with that drop in temperature as well on Saturday. That's to be determined. Right, let's move on to the forecast then. So these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average. For London, we're starting off above average with the upper air temperature at the moment. They're going to spike up tomorrow. It's a very hot day tomorrow. Then the temperature will come down a lot very quickly later in the weekend into the early part of next week. And then on into the last week of June, no sign of return to excessive heat, really. The upper air temperature is hovering quite close to average. Precipitation-wise, can be lots of dry weather in the next couple of days. Then it starts turning more unsettled. But how unsettled it gets later in the weekend and into next week remains to be seen. There could be some downpours and wet weather involved. This precipitation might continue from the midnight operational GFS run. Does look rather alarming, but clearly it's an outlier. But people at Glasgow certainly won't want that to verify. That would be a proper deluge. But the last week of June probably does look a little bit showery at the very least. Temperature anomalies on the 16th, 24th of June warmer than average for England and Wales, but perhaps close to average or even a little bit below the parts of Scotland. Precipitation anomalies from 6th to 24th of June, drier than normal in most areas. Later, we have a map from urbannullschool.net shows that high pressure in control of the day, and winds begin to draw in from the continent, starting to bring the wind in from France, and so that's responsible for the rise in temperatures. Right, so UK Met Euro is looking for midnight on Sunday. We've got low pressure to our south, Bungie low, trying to get in, but being held at bay really by this northerly, but moving down from the north. Under a ridge as we get into Monday, then this low pressure drifts northwards through the early to middle part of next week. That could mean wet weather with it, maybe some thunderstorms, not very good news for Glasgow. That low pressure finally gets out of the way by midnight on Thursday, and we pull in this cooler north or northeasterly wind. Icon looks like this. Again on Sunday, we're pulling in cooler air from the north, so temperature will be dropping over the weekend. Early next week, we go into this rather showery and rather cool northwesterly type flow, and up to the end of the Icon run, which today gets to be day on Thursday, 23rd of June, got a ridge into the south, but that brings dry and warm weather into the far south, southwest and north. Looks a little bit more unsettled. GFS midnight run, again pulling down those cooler northerly winds over the weekend into the early part of next week. A ridge trying to hang on, but it sort of gets pushed away as we go through the week as low pressure deepens in the Atlantic. Eventually, it's actually turned quite unsettled with GFS midnight run. This low pressure pushes through. I assume that's where that big precipitation spike on the ensemble graph comes from. For around 25th, 26th of June, that area of low pressure just there. Remember, that's a bit of an outlier, but certainly GFS turns things more unsettled through next week, and will bring quite a bit of rain for the GavsWeatherVids Festival, I'm afraid. Glasgow update coming up tonight. We'll see what that has to say then. Beyond that, high pressure road starts to re-establish, turns drier and warmer into the closing days of the month in the extended range. That's how we get to the end of the GFS run, which they get 2nd of July, and to a nice ridge. Quite dry and warm there. Right, let's go backwards. This is the GFS 6Z. So, again, pulling in those cooler northerly winds as we go through the weekend. Early next week, take the high pressure out to our west. We pull down this showery and quite chilly northwesterly wind, and then through the second half of next week, turns increasingly unsettled. This low pressure comes in from off the Atlantic, so the GFS definitely swinging towards really quite unsettled weather for next week and late next week, and for the Glasgow Festival. Day 10, which is a bit worrying. Day 10, we go into this showery, cool northwesterly flow. May have further low pressure meandering around for a while, but as we get to month's end, high pressure then or a ridge tries to come in, re-establish and turn us hotter. That's how we get to the end of the GFS 6Z, gets us to the 2nd of July. That was quite hot, actually, with that ridge of high pressure bringing the air back in from off the continent over the upper air temperatures, and another surge of extreme heat from Africa pushing northwards across Europe. That's a very, very hot looking chart by the time we get through to the beginning of July. If you're enjoying this video, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. This will be the last 10 to 14 day, certainly for a couple of days, maybe the last one until Monday. I'm definitely having tomorrow off. I might have the weekend off as well, if that's okay with everyone. But thank you so much for all the support that you've given over these past days and weeks. It means so much. Thank you so much to all of you. Still got a bit to do though. Here's a GM with winds coming in from the north, so rather showery and quite cool as we go through the weekend into the early part of next week. High pressure ridging in through the early part of the week. Should be quite a dry weather with it becoming warmer. Then low pressure trying to push up from the south. That probably being a showery wet weather south-southeast. The far west and northwest will be drier though. Up to day 10, high pressure is trying to re-establish or keep going. Nowhere near as unsettled with the GM in the second half of next week, and around Glasgow as like the GFS output today. And then finally the ECM looks like that. So again, Fungi low is threatening the south on Sunday. We are putting in cooler air from northwards. A ridge through the early part of next week, and it turns more unsettled through the middle. Second half of next week, we pull in these cool northwesterly winds. It turns cool, it turns showery as we go through the week, and very much in line with like the GFS output. The ECM is also turning things really quite wet and unsettled late next week. Looks worrying for Glasgow this, with low pressure bringing quite a bit of rain in from off the Atlantic. There's definitely been a shift. We've been quite a bit of model output to turn things a lot more unsettled late next week and over the final weekend of June. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from meteo.com. So, wet weather getting going across parts of Wales and Midlands in line with our pairs, actually, through the course of Saturday. So, again, much cooler on Saturday and wet through Wales and Midlands, some parts of East England as well. That persistent area of wet weather. And then we go on into next week. It turns drier for a while before thundery showers try and push up from the south. And then we're into the Atlantic-driven stuff, bringing wet and windy weather off the Atlantic Ocean just in time for Glasgow. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble. Day 4, day 10 gets us to the 26th of June. 19 members of the ECM ensembles have low pressure through the country, so it's going to be very unsettled, quite cool and wet. 15, including control and the operational run, with low pressure right over top of the country. 8, with low pressure again over to the east of the country. 6, with low pressure to the north and northeast. Again, that looks very unsettled. And then 3, with low pressure just to the west-southwest. High pressure over Scandinavia will bring up a hotter southerly flow. So that's the warmest scenario, but it's still unsettled. All of the other scenarios, so just look very unsettled and quite cool too. Day 10 looks worrying for Glasgow. I'm so sorry for the Glasgow girls, but we will have a look at Glasgow in detail this evening. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 1st of July. 24 members of the ECM ensemble then have a ridge. We can actually have quite a bit of dry weather with it. 17 with low pressure just to our east, pulling in this cooler northwesterly, and 10 with high pressure to our east. Should be a lot of dry weather with that, and will be turning much warmer with winds coming in from the south. If you put 24 there together with the 10 there, the majority option within the ECM ensembles is to bring high pressure back, turn drier and warmer for the beginning of July. We should wait to see about that. And then finally with CFSB2, these are 500 millibar hydraulic breakdown in 2 week periods. The first week period takes from 15th to the 1st of June. High pressure will be dominating weather, but sitting out to our west, so turning cooler after a very hot start. Week 2 will be the 22nd, 28th of June. High pressure is in the Atlantic. Low pressure is to our north and northeast. Winds coming in from the west-northwesterly direction. That can be cool and much more showering. Week 3 will be the 29th of June to 5th of July. Low pressure just to our north. High pressure to the south. Winds coming in from a westerly direction. That'll be a little bit showery, and then by the time you get through to week 4, which is going to be the 6th through to the 12th of July, high pressure event is over to the east of the country and probably bringing up a much warmer southerly flow. Hints are there, but we might turn things hot again through the early part of July. But of course, we'll wait and see about that, and it is to be confirmed. I just want to leave this, so if anyone would like to give a donation in memory of Mr. P, and thank you so much to all of you for the donations that you've given. It means so much. Thank you so much to everyone. If anybody would like to give a donation in memory of my mum, Mrs. P, then this is her page on the British Heart Foundation website. So, you know, that's how you do that. You find the link in the description. And thank you so much, everybody, for the kindness, the love, the support, the donations in the memory of my mum. This is going to be my last 10 to 14 day, you know, until after the funeral. So I say I'm off tomorrow, it's funeral tomorrow. And I might take weekend off, other than doing a Glasgow update at some point through the weekend. But next 10 to 14 day, might be on Sunday, might be on Monday, you know, I'll see how I feel over the weekend. But Monday we'll see everything, you know, everything will start coming back. All the features will return again on Monday. Okay then, well, you enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I shall see you very soon. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.